Ops.
I'm Nate Grebe, Operations Specialist at VictorOps.
So Nate and I are going to go through a fairly quick demo of the key features and functionality of the VictorOps platform. So we're going to start a screen share here, so bear with us. Okay, you should be seeing the primary VictorOps UI in front of you. This is the web client, obviously, so we are also developed around the iOS and Android clients as well, and we'll give you a demo of that. It's just easier for Nate and I to navigate through the web UI. So there's three primary sections of the VictorOps web UI. On the left, you see what we call the people pane. And adjacent to, using Nate as an example, Nate's name, there's an oak leaf, which indicates that he is on call, and then you can see for the highlighted team, follow the sun, Nate is on call. You can drill into an individual's name and get their contact information, as well as send them a private chat. If you needed to draw something out in the midst of a firefight, you can send a private chat to your teammate, or you can also take on call from those individuals from the people pane too, and that's really handy. My kids play a bunch of sports, and you know, when I'm at a sporting event or doing some coaching, I'll shoot Nate a quick reference in the timeline, as Nate's doing right now. You can send an @ reference into the timeline, and that's going to send a push notification to your teammate. So we use this feature all the time internally to exchange on call, and obviously when we need assistance when we're troubleshooting an incident, it's a good means by which to draw a teammate into the firefight, if you will. Going back to the people pane just for a minute, you can see Todd Vernon there. He's got a green dot adjacent to his name, which indicates that Todd's not on call, but he's present, meaning he's paying attention. We think that that's a really key feature because it allows teammates to collaborate to resolve incidents. So the core objective of the VictorOps platform is to reduce time to resolution on incidents to give you your life back as the on-call person. So allowing this single pane of glass view into seeing which teammates are around the application and paying attention to your infrastructure is a key means by which to accomplish that objective. Moving into the center of the screen is what we call our incident timeline. This is akin to Twitter from a social media experience. As you can see here, it looks and feels a little bit like that, albeit in this instance, it's your infrastructure that you're taking a look at. So going back to the mobile phone experience, you could use your VictorOps app, open that up on the weekends, and just at a swipe, take a look to see what's going on, the state of your infrastructure, as well as the individuals that are working on a particular incident. If you had technical insight into an incident that was currently being researched by another teammate, this is another good design of the platform, is to allow you to chime in and collaborate on the resolution to those particular incidents. On the right-hand side of the screen is what we call our incident pane, and I'm going to let Nate go through the details on this one.
So similar to the main timeline, each individual incident has its own timeline, so you can drill in here. And it will kind of show you all of the timeline actions that are associated specific to this incident. So as you can see, it opened and then a couple of people got paged. You also have the information here. And what you're able to do then is you can also reroute an incident. So let's say an incident comes in, it's outside of your technical purview, you're able to then reroute that incident to the correct team. So I'm going to go ahead and reroute that to the follow the sun rotation. And to kind of show you a similar view in that we have the same sort of three panes going on in the iPhone app, I'm going to switch over real quick to the iPhone app, which is, we also have an Android. And as you can see, it's the timeline here, the people pane here. You can, again, go in, send someone an SMS, or click on their name for a phone call. Oops. And we also, up here, we have a little notification bubble. So I can click in here and kind of get a view of what's going on specific to what for me. So I'm currently on call. I have 1 triggered incident, and I have 3 triggered incidents for my team. I can then select on one of those. It'll bring me over. I can ACK all these incidents. And I can also click in, and it'll be the incident timeline again. So it kind of shows you the view of the world. Another nice thing about the incident timeline is if I was to post an update in here and call in for some help, it's automatically going to append the incident ID, as you can see here, so that whoever I'm calling in for support will know exactly the incident that I'm referring to when I send them a push notification to get them involved.
Nate and I find this feature particularly handy when we're on chairlifts, skiing out here in Colorado. So we have done a lot of firefighting from the chairlifts at various Summit County resorts, which is a really handy feature. Instead of having to go back to your truck, get your laptop out, and set up camp, you can continue to ski.
Especially when the issue's outside of your technical acumen and all you would do is go back to your car and just reach out for help. It's easier to just do that quickly from your phone.
That's right. So from here, we're going to go into our scheduling options.
So within the schedules, you have as you can see, we have a number of different schedules set up. Most of our users do the basic 24/7 schedule, so you're on for a week, off for a week. But we do have the option to set up a more complex. This is a complex 4-country follow the sun rotation. And this is a more basic day shift, night shift with a weekend shift thrown in there. From this view, this is where your team can go in and kind of see what's going on. You can skip ahead a couple days. You can also switch to a month view, so if you want to get kind of more of a full view of what's going on, you can see the different rotations that are associated to each team. If we then click in on one of these teams, I'll dive deeper into an escalation policy. So at the bottom, you can see the rotation. This is the rotation I have that is daytime, nighttime with a weekend shift. As part of the escalation policy, so when an incident gets routed to this team, it will first notify the current user on call. You can then have additional steps where if the incident does not get acknowledged after a certain amount of time, it will continue to automatically escalate through this policy. So our first step is to notify a manager, so in this situation, Bryce. And then after a certain amount of time, if you wanted to skip from a Tier 1 support to a Tier 2 support, you could go execute a policy for a team automatically. You can add as many steps as you'd like, and then the other options would be to notify a previous user or the next user in a rotation, execute a policy for a team we all went over. You can send an email or execute a webhook. So if after a certain amount of time you just want to reboot a server or, I don't know, update your resume or something along those lines for not getting to an incident fast enough, that would be an option there as well. Continuing on, we're going to switch over to the user pane. This is where you set up your own personal paging policy. So when you are paged, because you were on call and incident gets routed your way, this is where you set up the actions that you want VictorOps to take in order to wake you up. So similar to escalation policy, you have an immediate step, and then after certain periods of time, depending what you want, 1 minute to 60 minutes, you can select different options. So the options are to send a push notification, which is just through the app, goes to your phone, send an email, send a text message, SMS, or a phone call. So within the app, you have options of changing the sounds in order to make sure it really wakes you up. But if you want to have additional policies or backup set up, it's always good to do that here.
So with scheduling and what we're going to go into next is integrations, Nate and I are always available to assist. So that's important to note, is that if and when you want to conduct a 14-day free trial with VictorOps, please know that Nate and I are always available to assist you in getting set up in terms of your schedules and the integrations, which we're going to go into now. You can see on the right-hand side of the screen is a list of the current formal integrations that we have with the various monitoring solutions that are available. As those of you on the call probably know, there are a ton of different monitoring solutions available. So we're always working on additional integrations. And in addition, we have information in the knowledge base that you can access from the lower right-hand corner here that provides detailed technical information on how to set up these various integrations. In complement to that, again, Nate and I are always available to assist, and you can reach us easily at support@victorops.com.
Real quick, I just want to touch on a couple of the integrations. If you don't see the specific monitoring solution that you use here, if that solution is able to send out an email or a webhook and you're able to adjust the information within that webhook or the subject line of that email, we do have two really simple options in order for you to get integrated quickly with VictorOps. The REST endpoint allows you to post to your own URL that we provide here. Basically, if you're able to adjust the message sent in the webhook, it's a pretty simple JSON blob. We require one field that's just the message type so that we know whether it's critical or an acknowledgement or a recovery, or if it's just an informational message. Those are all options that you'd be able to send. And then you can add in as much information as you like from there. Similarly, the email endpoint, basically we give you an API key, and then you're able to add in a routing key, which is defined at the bottom of the integrations page here. So if you were to replace that with DevOps, it will go to the DevOps team, database goes to the database teams, and you can add as many routing keys as you like and have them go to as many teams as you'd like. And then what we do with the email integration is we parse the subject of the email. So if it was to say blah, blah, blah is critical, we create a critical incident and begin paging people. If it was to say the same thing, blah, blah is resolved, it would resolve the incident, or it would acknowledge the incident. So if you are able to trigger different types of emails based on certain actions within your monitoring solution, you'll be able to have a really seamless integration with VictorOps in a very small amount of time. And again, Tom and I are always available to help set that up. If it is a new system to you, we're pretty quick about getting those things going. It's what we do all the time.
So the last thing that we're going to go into is our reports, and by title these should be fairly self-explanatory. On the right-hand side, adjacent to the post-mortem reports, you can see some basic key performance indicator, KPI type of reports. We're getting ready to release additional reporting features and functionality that will allow you to do things like trending at the host and service level, also some granularity into team or individual performance as it relates to on-call. An example would be if Nate was on call for the last 7 days. As a manager, I could evaluate how many incidents he fielded that were critical, in what amount of time he was able to act those and resolve those. Things along those lines are the additional reports that are coming out very, very soon. But the post-mortem report is what we're going to highlight today, and Nate's going to go through an example of our post-mortem reporting.
So within the post-mortem, it's pretty simple. Let's say you have an outage during a certain time frame. You just go in here and select that time frame, and it will bring up every action that took place during that time within the timeline. So actually, that might not be enough time. From there, you can add a little write-up, kind of giving a brief explanation of what occurred and maybe how you went about solving it. And if that doesn't do enough within the write-up itself, you can go in here and first remove things to just kind of clean up if you don't need certain messages. And then you can go in and add comments. So if this was the cause of the outage, you can add that here. And then as you go, you can continue to add notes based on different events people took or chat messages that were in the timeline and that sort of thing. From there, you can save it. It will save to your VictorOps portal, so you can bring it up at any time. You may have seen that we had a number of demo reports in there. You can also print it out or print it and save it to a PDF and send it out as part of an SLA, or send it to a manager or anyone who would be interested in how you went about solving the issue, and the different alerts that came from the different systems will all be compiled in one place, and you'll be able to quickly display them.
So from here, we're going to stop the screen sharing as we've gone through all of the primary features and functionality of the VictorOps platform. We hope that was useful to everyone. We've tried to do question and answer sessions in the past, and they have been a complete disaster due to the lag time in our presentation. So what we'd like to do is encourage you to reach out to support@victorops.com if you need any assistance. That will automatically alert Nate and myself and the ops team here at VictorOps. We'd love to hear from our customers, so we would certainly love to hear from you. As stated, you can go out to the VictorOps site and conduct a 14-day free trial. During that time, Nate and I are obviously available to assist you with any questions that you have. We'd be happy to help. So We look forward to hearing from you, and we hope the demo was useful today. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.